first thing I was, if you don't know how to achieve a circuit, then you're not going to even get started.
Okay.
Yeah. That's what I wrote down too. I needed to know where to put the wires, and that's not anything that I'm very knowledgeable of anyway. I've done crafts with kids for over a decade, but I mean, when you put in something that requires a formula, like the circuit, then I'm not as adept. I would love the time just to play with the motor and the battery and the wires themselves for a while. Just get familiar with that and then add stuff.
I needed to know if more batteries affect the motor. If connecting the motor to the door altered the speed at which I can get something to spin. And I also needed to understand like the weight to spin ratio, how much weight, how much load would I put on that motor to get the visual effect of it, and whether the glue was conductive or not.
Was this were these questions you needed to get started, or in order to? Were these the
Well,
ones you
they were
investigated?
questions- they were ones that popped into my head. Like I wondered if, and that was part of like coming to the conclusion and putting the idea together.
Those are the three sort of big ideas you were.
I needed to know how to use the tools.
You need to know how to use the tools.
Yeah. I don't know how to show me how to use the wire cutter. Sorry.
No. That's. Had anyone used? I mean, so who has used a hot glue gun before? Coming in here. So some, most, not many. My first hot glue gun was like 6 years ago. I actually burned myself on it. So tools, interesting. That's a good one. What else?
Frustration happens. I needed to know that it was okay to be frustrated with something that didn't work. She needed to know that. But if it didn't work the first time, it's okay to keep trying.
I'm gonna shut this door if
Just
that's
because
all
I'm a
right.
math person, I can't say, oh well, I can't do that.
Lynn, could you repeat that one more time? Just a little bit louder, because I want to make sure everyone could hear.
Oh, just that frustration happens, and it's okay if it doesn't work the first time to keep on trying. And just it's part of the process of, well, this works or this doesn't work, and so how do I? And that it's okay to ask for help.
There is no end result that has to be achieved. Frustration can be an end result. Is that it's a big thing.
Other thoughts?
Well, it's kind of mundane, but for me, the time constraint was probably the biggest issue. Because I had to scrap everything at the end and just throw something together, which oddly enough had great motion, but no personality. Didn't have time for that.
Did knowing your time affect how you're investigating? Like knowing that there was a finite time? Did it affect what you did?
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think you're announcing so much time left. That made a difference. Okay, forget that.
Now,
I'll get
yeah,
that.
now that for me, in the beginning, absolutely nothing. But when
Yeah.
you said 2 minutes, then suddenly, yeah, I was like,
Yeah. I kept thinking, I can do this, keep on. But then finally, oh well, stick something on there.
I know, I keep it 2 for time constraints because there's like this general time constraint, like we are going to have 40 minutes, and then there's I think as we reminded for the time reminders were sort of a little different than the constraints. That's where the rubber did that's where the hot glue really hit the.
Hit the fingernails.
I know the constraints are necessary for this workshop, but I believe when you're tinkering, you can't have any time restraints. You know, you've got to have the time to see your vision through. So, you know, it may take an hour, it may take 5 minutes. You may want to change it.
on another level though, I like limitations.
Well, sometimes they're good.
But how many of us, like you say, have sat back down and fiddled with it? She's got hers running over here and done a little more to make it.
Right, yeah.
That's what I wanted, and I can still work on it
A little more time than
Yeah.
like mine, I think I could have got it to go straight like I wanted to.
But time is always going to make things better.
I want to make a comment on that. It seemed like some people like different amounts of constraints. Like some people, like you needed a little to have a time window in order to be creative, and for other people that makes them feel less creative. So that's something to keep in mind, that there's a boundary at some point of things, that some people needed
Can I follow up with a question? So who felt they were done? It's okay. Okay, so there were a handful of folks who thought they were done. Who needed more time to sort of explore? And who needed a lot more time? Like I needed like 4 more hours to dig in. Okay. 4 hours. 3 hours or 2 hours or
I didn't feel like I needed more time. I just felt like that once I got started messing around with it, that I could just do that for the rest of the day. You know, it's kind of like once you get invested in just playing around with something, there isn't really an end to that process.
I think after seeing everybody's, I'd like to have a second pass. You know, try again after I learned what they all did and the cool ideas that are out there. You know, that I can steal. And I'd like to do it again. You know, have another period where we try a second.
That's how development works, though, right? I mean, you take the best ideas and combine them.
Yeah. And so it sounded like some people borrowed ideas from others. Some folks sort of focused in on their own. It seems like some different processes.
So I read it. One thing you need is inspiration. It's not maybe something you know, but it's something you need.
Ray, did you have something? Or?
Well, I just think that, you know, you can't be afraid to fail. You have to, lots of times, fear of failure freezes you, you know. So you just gotta forge ahead, and if you fail, that's great, because that's how you learn. You know, when your successes don't teach you near as much as your failures.
Absolutely. That's why when I'm teaching a class, you know, if one kid gets an answer wrong and other kids have a tendency to say, oh, that's wrong, I always say, no, that's right. Let me explain the scientific process.
Yeah, you have to go do that.
Well, working in a formal and an informal situation, I work a lot with teachers, and technology and electricity and magnetism and all that kind of stuff, ears and pulleys, and they don't have a lot of experience with it, so their first attitude is, I can't do that. And time plays a factor with it. I know one of the big squelchers for me is if someone tells me to be creative, then all of a sudden every ounce of creativity just shuts down. But if I've got some time, and I suggest to teachers that if they show the kids the kind of the rudimentary stuff, and some kids will get it immediately because they've been born that way, they're hot-wired that way, and others need time to go home and be able to, and if they can give them that little bit of extra time where there's no pressure on them, then they function better with it, and they can come back home the next day come back to school or come back to the situation with something that they've had time to just plod through. Yeah. And it's not a competition then.
Right, exactly.
I'm actually going to the second part of the second question, just about materials. One of the other questions I want to talk about is that, so we spent a little bit of time in the beginning doing a little bits of instruction